Chapter 36, Day 5. "John, wake up," her voice called, with a groggy tone. It was muffled, with only a few sounds actually traveling through the void, but enough that I understood. "Wake up," she called again, with a clearer tone, but still fuzzy. "Wake up, boy," she screamed, with an added slap across the face that almost seemed numb. I mean, I could feel it and all, but it was as if she didn't make contact. It was kind of like when I'd come back from the dentist, a numb feeling that you can't really explain. My eyes winced as my body finally caught up with my mind. I made a slight groaning noise as my senses began to awaken, one by one, with my eyes to come last. Gray eyes opened lazily, as if I had been asleep for a long time and I was just waking up from a mid-dream. Alice appeared over me with a sour expression that also appeared worried. I didn't recognize the location I found myself in. The ceiling was painted a dark purple, with lights lining the surface. The floor I lay upon was a dark black, with neon strands scattered within the dark fabric. The room was an average size. It was about the same size as most of the shops in the mall, and a little bigger than the strip in the main town. Vintage games, covered in aging dust and spiders' homes, filled the room. Looks like an old arcade you'd see in movies, but never in real life. "Alice?" I questioned. "Why didn't you answer me the first 6 times?" she growled, and helped me to a sitting position. "I didn't hear you calling me," I admitted. I brought my left hand up to my throbbing head. It feels as if my own thoughts were a needle stabbing into my brain with an unforgiving force. "Are you okay?" she sighed with relief. "Define okay. Mentally, no way in hell. This game scarred me for life. Physically, I feel like my head's gonna explode," I joked, with each word pressing against my scalp. "Well, I knew you weren't mentally stable, not with the ideas you come up with. I mean, who else would actually dress up like a serial killer?" Alice laughed, creating confusion within me. "What?" I asked, unaware of what she was talking about. "I'm just saying it was risky, that's all. I don't know what was going through your head when you did it, but..." She continued explaining things that never happened with my attention taken away. "Are you playing a joke on me?" I spat with annoyance. "No." "Like I'd believe that. You're messing with me, aren't you?" "I should have expected that from someone like you," I sighed. "What's going on with you?" Alice called. "The better question is, what's wrong with you to make up stuff like that? You have a sick imagination, you know that?" "I do have some questions, though." "Where are we?" I asked, looking around the arcade. "You must have hit your head again," she concluded. "We're in an arcade, looking for your phone. How much don't you remember?" "I didn't hit my head," I sighed, rolling my eyes at her lies. "And why are we looking for my phone? What's the point in finding it? I've survived fine without it." "John, what's the last thing you remember before waking up here?" Alice asked in a sweet tone I'm not used to hearing from her. "We were in the mall, and I stormed off because of what you said to Leo. I remember feeling hot, and my legs gave out," I recalled. "Also, you had no right to say any of that to him. We all know that. Well, at least Eve and I do. Not too sure about how, but I'm pretty sure he's a complete psychopath. I mean, why do you guys even listen to that boy? Speaking of which, where are they?" Her face suddenly turned snow white. With each word I spoke, the color only drained more from her body. Her lips curled, as water fell from her expressionless appearance. Alice's hands reached above her head to her messy bun, pulling out the band. Pencils and pens rained from her copper locks, as the dirty hair fell into her face, which hid her true emotions. "Remember," she whispered, almost too low. "Remember what?" I questioned with concern. "This is a joke, it isn't funny." "Please remember," she joked. "Remember what?" I shouted, taking hold of Alice's shoulders. "Everything! Please remember, so I don't have to tell you. Please just remember, so I don't have to see your face when you hear it again." Her eyes locked with mine, and tears ran down her expression, which slowly turned into that of pink. "Where are they?" I asked, terrified of her answer. "They're dead, John. They're both dead." Her words shot through my heart like a dagger. I shook my head, not believing a word from her hellish tongue. "They're dead!" she screeched, grabbing my shoulders. Eve and Hal are gone, but you kept going. You kept fighting. Because of you, we found a new clue. Because of you, we know your cell phone has a picture of the cell phone killer. You won this game for us, John. We just need to find your cell phone, and we can all go home. It's because you didn't stop. You kept going that we are only a step away from being free of hell. So don't stop now. You can't stop now. You can't leave me too. I pulled Alice into a tight hug, where we both fell into silent sobs. Her grip tightened around me as silence broke with reality. Alice's hands tightened against the fabric of my coat, unwilling to give me any freedom from her grip. Not that I was asking for it. I won't. I promise, I whispered, petting her locks. Hours passed before either of us dared to move. Alice released her grip against my clothes, standing from her spot against the colorful floor. She brushed her hair from her salty skin as if nothing had happened. Come on. We don't have time to waste. She offered her hand. I stood with her assistance, looking around the room. I placed my hands in the pockets of my coat, to feel something in the right. I lifted out a black-cased cell phone that I did not recognize. I flipped over the case, to see Game Maker carved in my handwriting. Alice? Why do I have this? I asked, showing her the phone. You made a deal with the Game Maker to let you back into this world after you, well, died, Alice explained, searching around the store. I died? Ian shot you down after you saved his life. You just came back after 2 days. I'm not really sure what your deal was, but you saved Eve and me from the threes. But Eve was accidentally killed when Hal was trying to shoot you, since, well, we all thought you were the killer. Hal killed himself after that, or at least that's what Dan told me, and you didn't disagree when you actually remembered everything. We found a map of the game, including several locations that supposedly have your phone, that has a picture of the cell phone killer's face on it. All I know about your contract is that you only have a month left, Alice explained. What does it do? I asked. You can text players with it, but I don't know past that point. I unlocked the phone, staring at the contacts. She's right. All the players' numbers are within this phone. Can I really text anyone I want at any time? I noticed a countdown on the home screen, marked 62 hours. 62 hours to what? An idea popped into my head as I brushed away the clock. The current goal is to find my cell phone, right? Well then, shouldn't I be able to call myself? I scrolled through the contacts on the cracked touchscreen until I came upon it. The blank. I clicked the call button, putting the phone up to my ear to ensure that it did work. A ringing echoed through the game room, with a slight vibration. Okay, from the sound of it, it must be against something soft. Otherwise, the ring would be much louder. Once it ended, I only recalled again and again until he finally spotted the blue slider. A claw machine in the corner of the arcade was hoped what we'd been searching for so long. I ran over to the plush-filled box to see the shining plastic tied to a blushed rabbit with stitches for eyes and a torn piece of fabric in the shape of a heart sewn poorly over the phone. Alice, I found it! I called to the girl, motioning over. I dug into my pocket, then pulled out a credit and slid the card in the machine. The crane moved slowly and jagged. I positioned the crane directly over the rabbit, pressing the red button in hopes of capturing our escape. The claw rotated as it went down, landing, surrounding the rabbit with its metal, only to pull up empty-handed. I sighed, pulling out another credit, and put it into the slot. Again, my attempt was of no avail. The rabbit's too low to pick it up directly. Maybe if I grab the bear next to it, it'll move enough that I can get it back. I placed another credit in, trying to move the bear. The claw wrapped against the blue fabric, lifting the bear high into the air. The tension seemed higher than it should have. Ugh. It had to be this type of game. I've never been good at claw machines. The claw jolted forward, dropping the blue bear directly on top of the rabbit, blocking my path even more than before. Ugh. This game is rigged, I barked, hitting the glass with my hand. Let me try, Alice called from behind me. Sure, but I don't see how we can... I turned to only barely escape a crowbar to the face. The glass shattered from the girl's swing with the prizes falling across the ground. Where'd you get that? I snapped. It was behind the ticket counter. But hey, we got it now. Let's go. Alice laughed, holding the bloody crowbar over her shoulder. I dug through the pile of glass and stuffing to avoid a future attack with that bar. I picked up the white rabbit and brushed off the glass pieces. I pulled off the false heart, taking the blue phone in hand. It was lighter than the black one, with a more scratched appearance. Oh, this was my dad's old phone, before he gave it to me, wasn't it? Oh no. Thoughts raced back into my head with the memories I had forgotten. I quickly turned on the black phone, looking at the countdown clock with terror. 43 hours. Shit. Wait, why does it matter? I have the final clue. I know who the cell phone killer is. I've won. A smile filled my lips as I slid the blue phone up. I quickly made my way to the photos, where it lay. He was young, and a bit taller than me. The man only seemed to be 23 or 2. His chin was well defined, with a smooth cut. Skin icy pale with a sour expression painted on it. His hair was flipped over from the side, with the right side of his head shaven. Along with his night hair, small, square glasses rested on his nose, blocking part of his eyes that seemed red from the flash of the photo. He wore the same attire that I did, with the dark image of my kitchen in the background. Is that really him? I questioned. Has he really been the one to cause all this? The ground began to shake with an enormous force. Earthquake? Alice and I both tried to keep our balance. We had both failed and landed on the ground. What's happening? I yelled, as the sounds of the building shaking made it hard to hear anything. I don't know, Alice admitted. Maybe it's because we found the last clue? Several minutes passed before the shaking stopped and we could finally stand. All of our cell phones rang, much like how they would have if it were midnight. Alice, it's 2, right? I asked to ensure that I wasn't crazy. No, you're right. I don't know what's going on, she clarified, walking outside with me. The sky was no longer blue. Instead, it was dark as the night. Blue letters filled the sky, much like the player rankings. Congratulations! I never thought you'd ever make it this far, my children. Thank you all for playing the game. But as you all know, only one team can win. Will the winning team please go to the main town for their prize? Only one can win. So does that mean everyone else is stuck here forever? I asked Alice. That's the rules. That's why we all fight each other. It's because we know that only one team can win, and the rest of us are as good as dead, Alice stated in a heartless manner. No, that's not fair, I spat. We would have never made it this far without everyone. Everyone deserves to win. Everyone deserves to live. It's not fair if they die. It's not fair to leave them as we walk away. I pulled out the black cell phone, typing quickly. Congratulations. You have won. Send all. My phone, along with Alice's, rang with my message. Alice looked at me with confusion and concern. Alice, please listen to me. We need everyone in the main town in 1 hour. No exceptions. Can you tell Dan too? Don't ask why an hour, but it needs to happen. Okay? I commanded, running outside. I looked at the countdown as I ran away, leaving Alice at a loss. 2 hours remaining. I better make it count then.